Ephraim Salaam
man.
sounded like he was about to say something incredible. So I'm just gonna ask you: are you picking France to beat the United States Saturday in the gold medal game for men's basketball?
The one thing I will never do, okay? Whenever the Olympics come around, I treat the Olympics like the Lakers, right? Or any other team that I follow, right? I'm in, all in. Whether I'm happy with the way things are looking, I'm all in. I'm all in on the U.S.
Did you predict the Lakers were going to beat the Nuggets?
Of course, man. Of course I did. You all in then. Right? I'm really all in, right? Like it's not wavering. Now, what I will say and what I was alluding to is a lot of people took a sigh of relief. Like, we got past Serbia and Nikola Jokic. It's easy selling now. Just watching France, number one, there's a home country advantage.
Yeah.
That arena, brother, that arena is going to sound – this is the first time since 96, since it was in Atlanta, that the host nation is even going to medal in the Olympics in basketball.
Right.
Even win a medal, okay? Let alone compete for a gold medal against the world's best, which the team is led by a 20-year-old kid who just so happens to be the first pick in the draft last year of this very organization called the NBA. The Defensive Player of the Year is also on this team. And so being at home, being able to – the thing the U.S. struggled with outside of Steph was the three-point shot. Right? They'll jack him up. No, they'll jack him up. Bam Adebayo shooting three-pointers. He may have shot 3 all last year in Miami. All of a sudden on the world stage, he letting them things go. The problem with doing that is when you have a 7'3" unicorn, there's not a lot of area to get the rebound. Right? He's going to on missed shot. There'll be very few second shot opportunities is what I'm saying on missed long balls. Right? So you say, okay, well, let's go inside out. His range and guarding the rim is crazy. It's not like the NBA, for those who don't know, where there's defensive 3 seconds. You can just stand in the key. You don't ever have to move.
Right.
You don't have to be near an opponent. You can just stand there, right?
So let me ask you this,
because,
again, I haven't seen much of France. I haven't been impressed with the scores and, like all that. We know they have Wemby, who offensively has struggled during the Olympics. I know at one point he was 4 for 17 that day. I don't know what he finished. What about around? And Gobert isn't playing much.
No, because...
So do they have enough around Wembanyama, who's going to have his imprint on the game defensively, to compete?
I think they do in terms of their guard play. They also have – see, Victor on their team is not a post player, right? He's a stretch everything. Like,
so he's always on.
They don't – but they do have post players. And I can't pronounce his name.
On the box. Well, Yabusele.
Yes.
Yabusele. Yeah, now, he's. I know.
Yeah, Gershon Yabusele. He want all the smoke down low, right? So when they flash Victor to the high post and he gets it at 7'3" and extends his hands up and just dumps it down high, let's call it a high-low action, right? The guard set screens, they pass, Victor flashes, they dump it to him. He can turn if the defense doesn't. Honor it. He just turns and shoots that short 12-foot jump shot that he's really good at because he's shooting down on the rim. Or he dumps it down to the big, right? That's the issue. That's the problem that we're going to have because if Anthony Davis is guarding Victor Wembanyama, which I would say, then Bam is left to bang down below if they go Bam and AD.
AD, right.
That's a problem. Also, their guards have – like, unlike the U.S., when I talked about last hour about, do I take this shot or do I give it to a Steph or LeBron or KD? Everybody got the green light, man. Everybody just going. When you have that type of freedom to go, you're at home, the crowd, brother, that is dangerous.
Imagine if Embiid had played for France.
This would be a real issue right now.
And look, I'm not going to take anything away from Embiid. Shoot, after what we saw today, I'm glad he's playing for us in America.
Well, this is why this is why we were there. We needed him for Serbia.
Right. I got I'm cool with what he chose to do. But, and again, not a criticism. I mean, and I get, maybe it's just, like he said, he's an American now. He loves America. But a real competitive nature, and I'm not saying he's not competitive, but you know what I mean, would have been like, man, I'm going to France and we're going to beat America. Right? Yeah. And if you saying can you imagine him inside and
oh my gosh,
Wemby outside?
No answers. with Bam and AD, who would have replaced him? What is the other big American big in the NBA that would have replaced?
Bam ain't that big.
He's not a big.
Right.
Bam is not a big.
And
it works in the
really
Miami side. There is no other big that you would bring and put on the team from the NBA, from America, that would fill that void. So now we would be really undersized.
Yeah, I'm looking at the name. I'm looking at the teams right now. I mean, Brook Lopez, Miles Turner. They're not. I mean, they're not Evan Mobley, Jarrett Allen. I mean, but none of them are moving me. Real talk.
You get what I'm saying? So that's the issue. That's the problem. Thankfully, Embiid decided to play. He wanted a gold medal, so he was like, "Look, I'm just gonna join everybody over here. We all over here." That's why every time he touches the ball, the French fans, they boo him. They yell out "traitor," all kinds of stuff like that. Right?
Anthony, yeah. I'm just looking at names.
I mean, it would have to be Cat, I guess, but
Chet ain't banging. Yeah.
No,
it would have been.
There
a problem.
is definitely a lack of size.
It could be.
Yeah, there's a lack of size because bigs aren't trained as bigs anymore.
Right.
Bigs aren't trained as.
And my thing, Ephraim, and you like you say, you coach in AAU and all that. And I imagine you will tell kids this. I'm like, look, it is not like you can't do both. It's not like if you work on your three-point shot and your handle, you can also develop a post game. You can.
Right, I'm getting.
Am I wrong?
No, you're absolutely right.
What is going on?
This is what I did last year. So I'm coaching 11, 12-year-olds, and I got this giant kid. The first day of practice, he comes in. He going between the legs. He warming up.
How big is he? And he's 11 or 12?
He's at least close to 6 feet, somewhere right in that 5'11", 5. Wow. At that age, that's huge.
Yeah.
And so he's warming up with the guards and all. He's going between the legs, behind the back, and I'm like, hey, man, come here. Let me talk to you for a second. I told his dad. His dad came from a theater background, so he was always like, hey, I keep telling him to be serious in rehearsal. Practice. So what I did was.
Well, that's good because he'll probably let the kid,
he gonna let him go. He gonna let him go.
Yeah.
So what I did was I cut my practice in half. I had my assistant coach the guards, and I took the bigs, and we spent half the practice on the other side of the court working on back to the basket offense and defense.
Yep.
You know what I mean? We spent – this kid turned out – you want to talk about in that 1 year, he made the All-Stars. He was a dominant force inside.
He did both inside and outside, or was he just doing it inside?
I said, hey, man, you don't shoot no jump shot. I don't need that from you. I got real live shooters over here.
Right.
You got these guards. I need you to get big, both hands up.
Are you also, because I agree with that, but also I would work him, make sure he's getting his perimeter development
Just listen. At this age, the perimeter stuff is all they see. So when they're at home, they're not practicing with their back to the basket. When they're at the park, when they're at school, at lunch, they're not practicing with their back to the basket. I know this. So no, when we practice, I'm specializing on a skill set that you're not going to do anywhere else outside of this practice time that we have.
Right.
He's going to get those shots up. I'm telling you, he's going to put all that up.
The only thing I would say, and I agree with you, but it's a difference in handling it, shooting jumpers at the park.
Yeah.
And open gym than there is in real games.
But what I'm telling you,
I would get him doing both because the dude might not grow. You know, he might end up being 6'2".
Let me tell you this. When I was in high school, I didn't shoot one three-pointer when I was on my high school team.
They ain't even had threes when I played high school.
That's funny.
That's real talk.
But this is a real thing. I didn't shoot one three-pointer in high school. Right? I averaged 24 points a game. Back to the basket, in the post, short jump shot, jump hooks, drop step, dunks, the whole 9 yards. When I was on my AAU team, I played the three.
Okay. So
I had 7 threes in a game. Right? That's what really sped up my recruitment. Right. Is when I started going to Vegas and the national invitation. And they were like, oh, my God, who's this skinny kid over here, right? But in high school, I just played with my back to the basket.
Right.
So now, outside of that, at the parks, playing with my brother who was a guard, I learned to dribble. I learned to pull up on the three. I learned to come off the screen. I learned to do all those things. But the game, the part of the game that really got me focused, I got a lot of my scholarship offers from this big man camp that I went to where we're only allowed 2 dribbles and we had to either pass it or score it. And when I was able to dominate there, teams were like, oh, wait, hold on, wait a minute.
Let's go get him.
Right?
Well,
so
look,
it's important at that age to learn that skill because that's not being taught anywhere.
Nah, and that's you see it, like you said, we needed to import Embiid, basically.